Obviously, got a great challenge tomorrow. Ohio State's good basketball team, very well coached. They execute well. Concerned about transition, concerned about craft. Obviously, Deshaun Thomas is having an All-American type year. They rebound the ball. They're top 40 in the country on the glass. So we've got a great challenge tomorrow at 1:15. But we're looking forward to it. We've practiced well the last 2 days. I like the way our guys responded from the loss the other night in West Lafayette, as I knew that they would. I think our staff has done a good job working with them the last couple of days on some things that we wanted to get corrected, whether that's through film or on the court. Guys have been very receptive and, as you can expect, as I've said all year, very coachable and want to get better. And I feel like we've done that the last couple of days.
Feel like you'll learn a lot about your team and how they respond against Ohio State this week?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously we've lost previously, and I like the way we responded in that regard. We got another opportunity to do that again tomorrow. In this league, you play 18 games. We talked about it before game one when the second season started, and they're coming at you about every 2 or 3 days, right at you. So you don't have time to celebrate or lick your wounds. You can't do that. You've got to stay above that and focus on the process of getting better every day. I think our guys have done that, and they did that the last couple days as well. We don't, as I said after, we played the Missouri game, we don't define our season by one game. We're in this for the long haul. I've told the guys to enjoy and embrace the journey. There's only one 2012-13 Fighting Illini team, and we're going to make the most of it, and I'm proud of them for the way that they mentally have kind of stayed even keel throughout the entire season, even dating back to when practice started on October the 12th. It's why we've practiced well, and I think it's why we've continued to get better as the seasons move forward.
What was the focus of practice the last couple of days, and did you have to get after them or just keep it the same?
A little bit. That's why my voice is extra hoarse, a little more hoarse than normal, but not a whole lot. We've got good leadership. We've got guys that, as I said earlier, want to get better. I didn't think we came out today great, so we needed to get them going a little bit. But yesterday I thought we were really good. They responded well. Today we were good, and now at this point the hay's in the barn. I mean, we got to be ready to play at 1:15 tomorrow.
What did you learn from Thad? What's the thing what's the first couple of
a lot of things. I learned a lot of things from a lot of different guys that I've been in the business with, that I've worked with or for. Obviously Thad's a big part of that just because we were together for 8 years. First and foremost, he's a friend. He and his family. So he's done a lot for me professionally and personally. I've said this numerous times. I wouldn't be standing here with this, wonderful opportunity to be at the University of Illinois without him. Having said that, he's competitive. I'm competitive, and when that ball tips at 1:15 tomorrow, we're not going to be thinking a whole lot about that, and he's not either. And we're gonna get after it, just like I'm sure his club will.
How many games have you played head-to-head against that?
This will be the first. Last year we scrimmaged against him preseason, but this will be the first one.
Does that give you an advantage because you know him so well as a head coach, and he's never coached against you?
Well, I don't know if it's an advantage or not. Obviously, we know certain things about, how he thinks and how they play, but, he could say the very same thing about us. We talk obviously a lot up until, getting the job. We still talk frequently through Ted, but it's more personal in nature now, but was personal and professional in nature prior to coming here. So, we know each other well, but at the end of the day, players make plays. I feel like we'll put our guys in position to be successful. Our assistant coaches and staff have put together, a good game plan, and, I'm sure his have done the same. But at the end of the day, when the ball tips, we got to execute the game plan. We got to make plays.
Do you remember the first time you met him, John?
Oh, boy. I was a high school player. My high school coach was Todd Licklider, who had coached Thad at Butler as a player. So I met him when it would have been like 87 or 88 when he was a player at Butler, and I was a player in high school at Danville High School.
Rebounding, how do you fix that?
The question's rebounding, Jeremy's question. I think just continuing to make it more of an emphasis and getting everybody involved. I think, we're a team, Jeremy, that's got to gang rebound it. We are. All 5 guys have to be involved in it. I think at times we've done a decent job of doing that, and at other times as I watch, I don't think we've done a very good job of doing it. We got to be more consistent in that area. I do know that the better that we guard the basketball and keep it in front, the less rotations you get in, and the less rotations that you get in, the easier it is to block out. It's not as simple sometimes as someone might think as like, when the shot goes up, you should be thinking about one thing, and that's to block out. Now, if they haven't got you in rotation, that's fairly simple. But if someone drives, if Rob drives and I go over to help and the shot goes up, well, I just left my guy. Now I got to run back, and maybe someone else is smashing him, and then he left his guy. And so I think rotations have something to do with it. We've got to do a better job of keeping the ball in front.
And Kraft
Rob, do you drive at all? Do you have a right hand? Okay.
and Kraft is, he's really accomplished as a point guard.
He's good. He's good. What's interesting is we've now had back-to-back games, and one of the things we try to pride ourselves in is being tough, Mark, and being tough and nasty on the court, but gentlemen off the court. Now we've played 2 back-to-back games where I've had a chance to watch a lot of film of DJ Bird. I've had chance to watch a lot of film of Aaron Kraft, and I just really admire the way those guys play the game. They play it with passion. They play it with toughness. Both guys are winners, and obviously Kraft is really talented. I think he's kind of the heart and soul of their team as I watch him on film, and really have great admiration for how he plays the game.
You talked a lot about toughness after the Purdue game. Is that something that just develops over the course of time of you being here?
Well, I think it's a mindset, but I do think it develops within your culture, within your program over a period of time. I think we've had it a lot. I was disappointed with the way the game ended the other night on a couple toughness plays when we had emphasized it as much as we had. Bird made a couple of those plays for Purdue. I thought they were big plays that played a huge difference in how the game ended there. But I think part of it is cultural. Part of it is how guys are wired. Part of it is holding them to certain standards. I mean, there's a lot of things involved in that, Marcus. But, that's something that we've obviously earmarked from day one. It's why we wear the bracelets. From day one is something that we wanted to be a major part of what we're about. That's a part of our fabric. It's a part of our DNA. And, I think for the most part it has been. It's a big reason why we're in the situation that we're in and have had some success here early.
You guys talk about not getting too high or too low, and for the most part, it seemed most of them pretty level-headed out there. But you see a guy like Bird, kind of has the swagger, the emotion there at the end of the game. Do you want some of that in your guys at the end of a game?
Oh, no question. We want to play with passion. I mean, that's one of the things we talk about all the time. I mean, we want to play with passion, and we played with passion. If you've watched us closely and you've watched all of our games or the bulk of our games, we played with a lot of passion and a lot of energy from numerous guys on the team, and that's great. I want them to have fun. But I tell them all the time, I define fun. Fun is diving on loose balls. Fun is taking charges. Fun is executing and screening somebody to get a teammate a shot. Fun is sharing the ball. Fun is competing with toughness and together. That's fun. If you don't do those things, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, I think that we've done that again the bulk of the time. And, the teams that do that the most consistently, I think, are the teams that play the most consistently.
You've talked about competition in practice a lot. Have the last 2 been, competitive, more competitive than the past because you need maybe a spark? Or
yeah, I mean, yesterday was not for the meek and timid. Yesterday was physical practice. It was tough. Today we did some things, but we also, understand there's, a war being played tomorrow. Today's a battle. We wanted to prepare and mentally, physically. I think the important thing the day before the game is making sure their minds are right and their bodies feel good. And so we did that a little bit today. But, yesterday was a little bit more physical in nature.
You guys haven't been home in a while.
I mean, you know, the Chicago game was sort of a home game. Is it going to be nice to return to friendly?
Obviously, I mean, we're excited. I understand the game's sold out. You know, it's a great. Obviously, our venue's as good a venue as it gets. On game day, it can be electric in there, and you know, I've said it numerous times, whether it was up in Chicago or our fans coming out in St. Louis or the crowds that we've had here and people walking up and buying tickets. I mean, you know, Illini Nation has done a great job of supporting this team, and it makes a difference. Our guys notice it, and it works hand in hand. I think, you know, as you get different letters and emails and different things from people that you don't even know, I think people that support the Illini appreciate how tough our guys have been for the most part, how together they've been, the passion that they've played with, the way they've represented the university, and because of that, you know, we got a sellout tomorrow. That's exciting. I mean, that's great. So I know our guys are looking forward to the challenge.
They played Deshaun a lot at the 4. How does that affect what you guys do?
Well, anytime you talk about Ohio State, you're talking about a guy that's averaging 20 points a game that's as efficient as and getting it very efficiently, shooting over 40 from 3, high 40s overall, 80 from the line, rebounds it at the level that Deshaun does. He's a load, meaning he can get you inside and out. He can get you on the glass. He can post you, drive it, shoot it. I mean, he's a very, very versatile offensive player, and I think that's what makes him such a threat.
Who will guard him?
Lauren, do you think I'm going to tell you that? We have game plan stuff I must stay away from. I appreciate the question, though.
Talk about the guys who don't get as many minutes but do have a tendency to rebound. What can they do to get more minutes? Could they help you to rebound?
In the area of rebounding, is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Well, obviously, we're playing at this juncture, you know, the guys that we feel like gives us the best chance to be competitive and give our team the best chance to win. I mean, it's really that simple. You know, we're obviously continuing to evaluate every day. You know, as we evaluate our team, we watch film, we grade film out, we watch practice, we grade practice out. You know, we take all those things, you know, very seriously, and we grade them out. And then we make decisions based on, you know, what we see as a staff and putting guys in position to be as successful as they can be. You know, it's tough, obviously, for some guy. Every guy, if a guy doesn't want to play and he's not bothered by the fact he's not playing, then that's a problem, I think. You know, so I don't mind that. You know, if guys want, you know, they try to compete and they try to earn minutes. And, you know, am I open to changing things? Sure, if I think that's what gives us the best chance to be competitive and the best chance to win.
Do you have any questions from the phone lines for Coach Groce?
Yeah, this is Shannon. Obviously, Brandon Paul had a huge game against Ohio State last year, but overall his whole year wasn't real consistent. It seems like he's been steadier this year. Can you talk about just what you've worked with him on to get him to that steady, kind of even keel play where he's producing a lot?
Well, I think the biggest thing with any player, Shannon, is the mental side. And I think Brandon, you know, I've said this before. I really asked him to do two things heading into the season, and that was to lead and give even more to others. And then I asked him to treat every day, every practice, every possession, every game like it matters, in an effort for him to play more consistently. And for the most part, he's done that. You know, I've liked his everyday approach. I've liked his mindset. It helps that he's older. You know, obviously Brandon and all of our seniors have been through a lot. They've kind of seen it all, and I think that helps. But I also am very thankful that Brandon's as coachable as he is. You know, when, you know, one of your better players or best players coachable and listens, it makes a big difference. And Brandon lets us coach him every day, and Brandon wants to be really good. So, you know, we're very thankful for that. But I think those are the two main reasons why he's played. I think he's led better, and I think he's approached every day more consistently, thus producing more consistently. I think those are the two biggest reasons.
Have you noticed teams giving him a little more attention just as he's had such, you know, high-scoring games and been so effective?
Oh, sure. You know, obviously as you get, you know, as many games as we are deep right now at 15, you know, it's the same questions I'm talking about here with Deshaun Thomas. I mean, he obviously stands out when you look at Ohio State. When you look at us, Brandon Paul's numbers stand out and people are game planning against him, and you have to find ways to counter. It's our job to try to put Brandon in position to be successful and utilize the talents and gifts that he has. And, we've tried to do that. I think Brandon's been really unselfish, here lately, even more so, as people have doubled him and shaded him and in practice, same thing. I mean, I think he's really tried to move the ball and listen to what we're telling him. And obviously that opens up opportunities for other guys on the team.
Any other questions from the phone lines? All right, we're in the room. Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.